nothing to revise a position.
You
Because
don't
sometimes,
have a position
sometimes it's not,
revised because you don't
sometimes
make a
it's not a,
position.
yeah, but sometimes it's not a position
Well,
that you've held for 20 years. It's just
well, no,
something
what,
you've never
like,
considered before,
but
and you're just following the line of reasoning. And sometimes the questions in
mm,
themselves are not very honest.
but John, it doesn't even need to be
The
a
questions
position that what we're talking about here isn't necessarily position. It could just be a rhetorical move, right? It doesn't have to be like a proposition. Like, for instance, like you use the move of like evading questions, right? And that would be one of these cases where I don't understand what motivates it. It's
Yeah,
like
I mean, I
what
heard you
like
guys talk about that earlier. Can you even think of a single instance
no, I'd have to go
where
dig up instances. And
there
if
there are times
I could talk to you
no
for
there are
5 minutes and
times
generate one though if you want.
yeah there are
That's
times I
probably
will
true.
refuse to answer a question, but I clearly state why, and then
Like right
usually the
now?
response is, oh, you have no answer, you're afraid, this and that, and just because that's the accusation that comes out doesn't necessarily mean that's what's going on. Usually the times I refuse to answer a question is when I'm in the process of answering it, they just continually cut me off, like 2, 3 people, and when that happens, I'm not gonna engage any further, and I consider that the responsibility of the mods because they just let it happen.
You do kind of drone on a little bit.
You
It's a great.
dodged and
No,
wouldn't
no,
ask
no.
yourself was
That's
talking to
that's
you
the
about the
accusation.
Jews.
That's the
He had to
accusation.
ask you like what a
What you
dozen
guys
times
don't.
before you actually
No,
answered?
no. What you guys don't realize, you have
And you have the
Detroiter speaking
nerve to
for
say
five
like, can you
minutes. You
come
have
up with a
Jack
single instance?
being
That's just
repetitive over
ridiculous.
and over and over again, and you guys listen with bated ear. But then like when someone is speaking in response to a question, you like you just tune it out. Bible verses, just block it out. Or just any type of response. This is like a natural, just a
John,
rejection, and
I
you don't want
criticized
to hear.
Detroyer too.
You want to hear your side of it, and that's just natural.
No,
I do have
it's not gonna
another
be true.
theory now.
I criticized Detroyer for it too.
Wait, what'd you criticize for?
For
Detroyer
droning.
earlier. No, he was
Wow.
he
He's
was droning
self-aware of it.
on. You know what Detroit was doing earlier? I was astounded that no one even intervened. He was debating himself. He goes, on one hand, this is and he goes on the other hand, and like people were just listening to it. He went on for about 5 minutes, taking both positions on a position, and he's not even taking a position. That was crazy. And then I was like about to unmute and go like, dude, like someone put a stop to this.
He's a
I don't
madman.
understand. Was he just laying out like some positions, then just showing what his takes on them were?
No,
Like a
Yes.
normal
he was
thing to do.
talking to
Yeah.
Converse about something,
That's
and
what he was doing.
it
Oh,
was
I like
ridiculous.
Except that
Converse. I haven't
Detroyer
talked to that guy in
says
a long time.
Detroyer. It's not like what he's saying is dumb or like not informative. He talks too long and then people lose interest because that's not like there's some norms when we're having conversation that if you talk for too long, it's more like you're talking at me and not conversating. This isn't like a speech to you, you know. You get like 30 seconds
It
to a minute.
sounded like he was talking to himself.
I don't know, man. Sometimes shit takes a while to say. My complaint about Troy, which I've voiced to Troy many times, and will probably always voice to Troy, is
He needs
just
to
that.
mumble louder.
No, it's not even
Oh,
about conversations. It's about debates. He just needs to be harsher when he debates people. Like he has
oh,
the
that. Yeah, yeah.
knowledge to like win pretty much
Rip them
He's
to
too
any of
shreds.
these
charitable.
debates he takes, but like yeah, it's like the win is way less decisive than if you could just just splice in like 10% Jack DNA into Troy, and
He's not
he would be
cutthroat
perfect,
enough.
It's
Just need
amazing
to
Yeah,
move him
how
to
and
LA for a little.
it's amazing how I just get arbitrarily accused repetitively that I just drone on and this and that, and
See, that's crazy.
sometimes
Is that crazy,
some
Isaac?
well,
yeah.
Can you believe that?
And then
yeah, I
just
mean,
like
I think
dishonest, there's a certain thing that people just repeat, and other people just buy into it. I found that's a social thing,
Like
definitely.
what? Like
John, do
what?
you ever what's that
Like
saying when it's like
I'll give you a good example. When the word dishonest is thrown around, both on text and both on Clubhouse, this is an atheist ploy. If you ever notice that atheists are continually accusing theists of being dishonest, repetitively so. And when I
No
listen
different
to
than
some of the
Christians.
when I listen to some of the things the Christians say, and then they're accused of being dishonest, it's just for the sake of calling them dishonest.
You think that every
That's what
atheist
Christians do,
is
though, Joey.
dishonest, like
to poison the
inherently?
well. That's exactly
Have
what the
you?
purpose is.
You ever
I
thought
want to
about
talk
that?
about the part where John. Sorry, was someone saying something?
Well, I just retort to John. He thinks that every atheist is dishonest, like by fiat, because they
Right.
think that they're
He
denying
doesn't think
things
that.
internally.
He
Yes, he
oh
does.
Right.
okay. Sorry. Maybe on that level.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
whatever. But yeah. I can't talk at fucking 4 a.m. man. I just
Yeah,
my thoughts just
I
like
don't
evaporate
exactly
out of
take
my
that
head. Oh,
position. It's a little nuanced, but
yeah, John. I was gonna say this though. You asked like something like why is are people just like taking it for granted that I like dodge questions or all this kind of stuff.
like
I
I have
just
a
I guess
question.
have you ever heard that
I have a
expression
question.
like,
Do you is there
well,
any
wait, let me just can
question?
I just want to
Is there
finish
any
my train of
question that
thought
you
there and
have
then I'll let you
lingering?
complete your line of thought after I finish mine, okay? I was just gonna say, don't you ever like kind of have this feeling like if everyone's saying I'm dishonest. Have you ever heard that sentence or that saying, um, if everyone smells like shit, maybe you should check your shoes?
Yeah, I've been on social media a
Good one.
very long time, over almost a quarter decade, right? I mean, quarter century, right? And what I've witnessed, right? Because
Tracking
I'm
that
not always a
shit on your
participant.
shoes all over the place, right?
Whether it's Matt Adams, whether it's just whoever else, right? Matt Adams to me is a very honest person, right? But he's continually accused of being dishonest by just a whole host of people. It could be that maybe he's unaware of certain things. That happens sometimes, right? But to just to accuse him of being disingenuous or this or that, that's unfounded. That's my
Yeah,
point.
I
But it's
kind of
not
want to
just him.
agree.
It's
Like,
not just me.
uh,
It's a lot of Christians. It's just a default accusation that continually it's repeated within the community.
well, I want to agree a little bit with what you said. Like, I think that sometimes an error that I make is I will like project my own thinking into that other person's brain, and I will go, I would, there is no way I could say something like this. Like, I would have to be full of shit to say this, but I don't always remember that like other people don't know the same things as me. They have had a very different life. And it could very well be like you just said when you were talking about Matt, because like I've seen that guy talk and just dodge the shit out of like just to a degree that's like what the fuck is this guy doing? But the thing is like it's possible maybe he's like you said just not actually like following the flow of the conversation. It's not actually dishonesty. He just doesn't really like understand that he's being asked a question at a given time or something like that.
Yeah,
So
and
no,
here's
that's fair
another
enough.
thing. Okay, I don't know what it is. I don't feel a need to incessantly ask questions, right? Ever since Facebook and Yahoo before that, AOL, there is this tendency for atheists to do all the asking of the questions, right? And then you hear words like dodging, avoiding the questions, not answering, the running. I mean, these are constantly the accusations that are given, as if they're the person to be asking all the questions. That's not it at all. And when
Well,
you and when you reverse the roles, because I ask questions too, you will find that people squirm. So I created here on Clubhouse where I would just simply like interview with a street epistemologist or something like that. When I start asking just basic questions, you have five, six people on stage totally just trying to stop the line of question because they see where it's going. It's like that all the time.
yeah, I'm
Uh,
sure. I'm sure.
because atheists, believe it or not, they may do all the asking, but they don't know how to answer questions at all. And like me, you guys might think that I'm here dodging questions or whatever the case is. I'm actually used to being in a situation where I'll be asked questions nonstop for hours upon hours upon hours, and I'll just sit there answering questions. So I don't know where you get this idea that I'm dodging questions. And my question to you earlier was, can you think of a single question, a single one, where you did not find that gave a satisfactory answer?
You asked that to me earlier. Are you asking me again now?
Yes, can you? Because you're the one. I
Didn't you
heard
hear my
you
answer to the
earlier.
The
I
question?
answer is
stopped
yes.
listening
Answer is yes,
because
John.
No, the answer wasn't yes. Did you not hear my
No, my
answer
answer
earlier?
is yes.
what was the question that I was dodging in your opinion?
No, did you not hear? No, my answer was I don't have an instance on hand. Your question was, can you point to an instance of me dodging a question?
So
And my
you can't.
answer was,
So what is it?
can I complete my
Just a
sentence? Don't do
feeling?
that. Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. Don't start that. What I said when I answered your question was, um, sorry, see that really fucks my train of thought up. I really hate that, dude. What I told you, you asked me, can I point to an instance of you dodging a question? And I said, no, I don't have one handy, but I could probably generate one if we talk for 5 minutes. The last part was a joke, but no, I told you I don't have one handy.
Yet there's
Right.
truth in it.
And so there's this perception on your part, a feeling, so to speak, an opinion, right? But there's no
A belief.
substance behind it, right? If you
Oh,
ask
there's
me,
substance.
That
if
doesn't
you
It's an
ask
follow.
me,
attitude.
Wait, that doesn't
right?
follow.
And in my opinion, there are times I don't answer questions, but there's specific reasons for it. Is because I'm simply being overrun by the
So
thugs
you do
that
dodge
Tom.
questions, but you have
I
reasons.
think there might be a
I'm not
misunderstanding here.
saying
I
dodge.
think that when
You're
one
the
sec,
one
I
using
think that when
dodge.
he says the word dodge, I think that he's thinking of dodge as meaning something like intentional and dishonest, right, John?
Right, I'll rephrase. You avoid answering questions, but you have reasons to avoid answering.
No. What
Oh,
oftentimes, people just don't shut up and just listen to my response. They ask a question and they don't want me to preface it.
Mm,
They don't want me any words. They want either a yes or no or whatever the case is, right? Because sometimes, depending upon the context, in this case it is yes, in that case it is no, and that requires explanation, right? But when as soon as I begin my sentence to explain that, which requires a few words, right? I get cut off immediately, right? As if like they're entitled to cut me off because
yeah.
I'm somehow avoiding the question, which is not the case. If they'd only shut up and listen, right? And then continue. There's another times they ask me what it is, right? And I'll preface it by saying, well, it's not this, but, and I'll literally start to say it, and they get all triggered. Don't tell us what it's not. Tell us what it is. And then it's like they cut me off. Literally, I begin to tell them what it is, but they never get there. And then you know what happens? After cutting me off like 5 times, they'll basically say, "You're not telling us what it is," or something like that. This is
no,
stupid.
you get cut off often when you just start responding to a question by saying what it's not,
Yeah, I guess
just as you said.
this is where the saying I mentioned comes up. Like if everyone smells like shit, maybe check your feet, right? Like it seems to me like have you not considered the possibility that like maybe what's going on in these situations is you're actually not addressing their question when you start
Yeah,
speaking, and that's what is frustrating them?
I'll tell you what. Okay, I'm an observer of human behavior, right? So
Mm.
is Tom, right? And
Mm.
and, and Tom is actually fair. A lot of times I have criticisms on what goes on. He will acknowledge that because he's forthright in that manner, right? But um, you know, within Christian rooms, I'll be critical. I'll identify the problems they have there, the Muslim rooms, the ex-Muslim rooms. I mean, the Hebrew Israelite rooms. Atheists, I think, run the worst rooms. I think that they're trying to bully people. I think that they're trying to denigrate. I think they're trying to control and interrogate and disparage. This is their intention, and they don't want honest conversation. Generally speaking, there are a few people who are not like that, right? But generally, this is what their motivations are.
Well,
Oh.
And
John,
it's not just Clubhouse. And I'll say another thing, okay?
Oh, there's more?
There was an atheism group here with Mead and Alfonso and Bishop even and Daniel. A lot of the atheism group, right, that has like 10,000 people, they actually have civil discourse, believe it or not, right? It's you guys that came from Discord. I don't know how many of you here came from Discord. Before the Discord, this Clubhouse was very uh, civil conversation. When you guys came over, it was like a battle, and I see some of the Christians coming over. They're bagging on the Christians here on Clubhouse and going, they're weak. We like they say, like when we're on Discord, we have our swords ready. Like they're like battling the atheists, and this is how they picture themselves. This is ridiculous, right?
Yeah, I guess
And
I could
so this is the culture you guys bring over to Clubhouse.
I could definitely tell you what makes how I think about it. Like I kind of view it almost like a courtroom or something, right? Like I view it a lot like cross-examination. Like have you ever actually watched like a trial when
Yes,
cross-examination happens? Like for instance, I just
of
watched the
course.
Alex Jones trial and I just found myself thinking like God, I wish, I so deeply wish that this was how people operated in debate. Like, I was like, I haven't watched a court case in a long time. It's just perfect. Like the person takes the stand for cross-examination, and they're getting all of the warnings that I would like. If someone told me to write down all the norms about debate, these would be the things I'd write down, right? The judge is saying to Alex as he takes the stand, like, okay, answer questions directly. This is not a conversation. You're being right now cross-examined, right? So you are just to answer, give direct answers, do not ramble. You cannot take the line of right, like just all these basic kind of norms, and then it's enforced during the conversation. So that's very much how I view it, right? Like I'm happy to have segments that are more back and forthy, and I'm happy to be the guy who gets cross-examination until the other person is satisfied. But I want to get my shot to cross-examine the other person without them derailing onto some other path, without them saying, "Oh, clock's up,
Yeah,
now it's my turn." Just please let me finish.
but
I want to be able to run my line of questioning to completion with no dodging, with clear answers,
right.
right?
And
So now, wait,
where do
just
you
let me
get this
finish.
idea?
Just let me finish what I'm saying. Right? Now, I was just gonna say, I'm not saying that everyone needs to agree with that kind of norm or share that kind of norm, but that's just what I personally desire for these conversations to be like. And I think that if more people were to adopt a norm like that, I think that we would get to the truth a lot faster.
Yeah, where do you get this idea that you are the questioner?
I I
Why don't you
When
just
there's a
he's
set
answering,
yourself
when he's
misunderstanding.
aside?
asking the
There's a
questions.
misunderstanding there. There's a misunderstanding.
holy
Now,
shit.
if you say that you're the questioner, there's
Right.
a question that comes up, right, about which situations are you quantifying over. I think there are cases where I'm the questioner, and I think there's cases where I'm like on the stand, so to speak, right? So when basically to answer you, when what has happened is I have justly acquired the line of questioning. For instance, maybe I started the conversation or something like this. I'm kind of viewing myself in that role. It's like I'm the one asking the questions right now, right?
Right. And
But
so
it could just as
do
well
you
happen
think
the
Darth
other way, right?
Dawkins always deserves to ask the questions?
Does he? I think that no, not always, but it depends on how the conversation comes about. Like I think that most people Darth defeats. Um, I think that they do try bullshit tactics, like trying to take the line of questioning from him, trying to give what he calls like semi-related rabbit trail. Like I think that he's actually correct when he says that people do that stuff. They do most of the time.
They do.
But no, I don't
I
think he always. I don't think he should
there
always have the line of questioning.
there was
There's
a
times where he should
situation
be
with
questioned.
Rhodey. I was very surprised, and Rhodey gave him like a really strange answer, and he says he was just trolling him basically. Um,
Well, let me ask this,
but
John. If
so I asked
oh,
Rhodey.
sorry.
I asked him like, didn't you have a proper response? And he said no.
Let me ask this, John. If at the outset someone were to just, because maybe some of this is about the norms not being explicit and it just coming across that the atheist just always wants to ask, and maybe there are atheists who are kind of unfair like Darth and they only want to play the one role, right? But if someone were to just say to you at the outset in the conversation, like, hey, the way I'd like to do this conversation is I want us to both have a turn to run our lines of questioning to completion. You can even do yours first if you want, but let's have this conversation when, if you're the one running the line of questioning, the other guy just has to answer and let you do your thing. Would you actually be against that? Assuming that they say
You
at
know
the
what I
outset,
think
we're going to
that you know
both
what
do
I
it?
think the best conversations are?
Wait,
Where
that's not
there,
an answer.
where no, no, no.
He's not going to
The
answer that
best
question.
conversations
There's
are
no
where
way he's
there
going to
are.
answer.
May I finish? The best
Did
conversations
you
are
hear?
where
Did you
there
hear
are.
Isaac's question?
No, it's
Yeah,
look,
may I
it's fine. Just
finish? The best conversations are where there are zero questions.
okay. I don't think that's true,
That's not an answer.
but just to
And
just
so
get an
that's
answer
my
to what I
position.
said though. Yeah, sure. That's your position on something other than what I asked about. I was just wondering, like, if someone were to just say, like, say that I want to talk to you, and I was just like, John, let's have a talk about Christianity, and we're both going to be able to basically cross-examine each other, like in a courtroom with similar kind of norms, and you can even go first. In fact, you can even go
If
twice.
we're
We'll do a
talking about
sandwich where you can
Christianity,
go first and you can
what would
also
I
go
ask you
last,
about?
and I'll just go in the middle, basically. Did you hear what I
Wait,
said there, or were you
wait,
talking over me?
wait, wait a minute.
Don't do that to me.
You
Did you
said
wait?
wait.
Yeah.
You said we're talking about Christianity, correct?
Yeah. What's the rest of what I
What
said?
kind of questions would I ask you as
No,
an
no, no,
atheist
no, no, no.
if we're
Don't try to
talking about
derail. No,
Christianity?
you're doing it right now. I won't have that. I'm not going to play into any of that. My question is simple. I'm saying, say that we're talking about Christianity, and I just say at the outset, I'm just trying to understand if you would assent to this or not. Like, if I just said to you at the outset, like, hey, John, let's do this conversation kind of like a sandwich, okay? We're both going to get to cross-examine each other, and I'll even give you two chances, right? You can
I
cross-examine
just
at the
responded
start,
to that.
and can I
What would I
please get
be
through a
asking you?
sentence? Can I please get through a sentence?
You didn't
You
even
can cross-examine
respond.
at the,
You're just
sorry, can I
repeating
please get
yourself.
through a sentence? Thanks. So
John,
if
bro,
I were to
what's going
say
on here,
right at
dude?
the outset, like, I don't even, there's not even any
I
danger
heard
here.
you
Like,
the
what are you
first
even
time.
worried?
You're just repeating
Okay,
yourself.
then, okay. If you heard me, why don't you reproduce what I said? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you did, in fact, hear what I said. What did I
Yes,
say?
you're talking about if we're talking about Christianity, right? And then you're saying
That,
to cross-examine one another. And my simple question to you,
no, no,
if
no,
we're talking
John,
about
wait. You said you
Christianity,
understood. Wait,
may
I
I
stopped
finish?
talking.
May I finish?
Because you took the line of questioning from me because you said you were understanding and that I was going on when you already understood the point. And I said, okay, fine, just reproduce my question, and if you do that successfully, then I won't
And
just carry
so
on with
if
it.
we're talking about
And
Christianity, I don't know why you keep cutting me off.
and you didn't do that, right? That you didn't reproduce my question. So is it okay if I just repeat my question so you actually understand what I'm asking?
You're making a
Yep.
point with the
It was not a
assumption
point, it
that
was a
we're
question.
going to ask. Your question was
Oh, see,
loaded. Your
this is
question was
annoying.
loaded.
This is
And I'll
annoying.
tell
I'm
you
not
why.
gonna listen to you. I'm
Can I
not
tell you why
listening.
your
Yeah,
question
yeah,
was
blah
loaded?
blah blah. I don't hear you. No, 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 no,
Your
no. Okay,
question
I'm
was
not gonna
Because
play
you
that
loaded.
keep
game.
cutting me
Okay,
off. You're
it's
not
not
even
gonna
listening
happen.
at this.
There's literally no point. I'm way more stubborn than anyone you know. Far worse than Darth. There is just zero chance, John. It's not gonna happen. Okay, I don't play that game.
Yeah, I don't
So
play
I
it
asked you
either.
a
So I'll just
question.
disengage right now. So we're done.
Talking.
We're
Hello,
done.
hello, 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 hello. I
What
am
part of
talking.
we're done are you not
Hello, hello,
understanding?
hello, hello. Earth to John. I am speaking right now. You are not speaking. This is my turn to talk right now. My question was basically just, and the thing is, now it's hope. Now you fucking burnt the whole conversation. You're probably all it's like I don't even know why I'm bothering trying to ask anymore. But I'll just try one more time, and if you dodge, I'm just gonna ignore. Okay, whatever. I was just trying to ask a really simple question. I was just saying, if someone were to just come to you and just say right at the outset, like, hey, dude, what I'd like is to have a kind of conversation with you where it's kind of like in a courtroom, okay? So we'll talk about Christianity, and you can ask whatever questions you want. You can cross-examine me, and you can do that both before and after my cross-examination. But I would like to have a chance to cross-examine you to my own satisfaction, right? I want the cross-examination to stop when I'm satisfied that I've run my line of questioning to completion. Is that something that you would be willing to do, or do you see a problem with that too? Because that sounds to me like very reasonable.
You repeated it like 3 times. You didn't even hear my objection.
Can you reproduce my question? Because I don't even believe right now that you actually understood what I asked you.
Of course I
And
do.
silence means... Okay, what did I ask you?
Of course I could steel man your question. Don't be an
I
idiot.
didn't ask you to steel man it. I asked you to reproduce it. Huge difference. What was my question?
Yeah, I'm done with the conversation. I already told you that.
He doesn't answer
Yeah,
questions.
well, I mean yeah. So now I don't know. I don't know if I want to say it's
You're
dishonest or
free
what.
to assume that
I'm
I
trying
did
to
not
complete
hear
a
your
sentence right
question
now.
that
I'm
you
trying to complete a
asked 3
sentence.
times.
I'm in the middle of talking. There's literally no point in talking. Like I don't listen when you do that, right? I just literally grab my headphones. I just kind of move them back a little bit. You know, it's like I don't care. Well, I do that if you go on long enough. I don't always do that, but yeah, I don't know what to say, John. It's just really fucking frustrating. Um, it made me lose my train of thought. But
Yeah, it's not
you said
frustrating to me. I don't
you
talk to
said that
people like
I repeated my question, right? But I'm not. I'm saying I don't even
you
believe that you
repeated it 3
understood my
times. I
question.
told you it was loaded. And
I've not.
I was going to tell
I've
you
not.
why.
I've not heard you repeat it, right? If you're gonna say it's loaded, then do that after. Just explain. I just want to hear you reproduce it. Like, I'll tell you what's frustrating me right now. Right now, it's not clear that we're communicating, right? It's not clear that you're responding to what I'm saying. This is what I was saying you need to change about how you operate earlier, because it's really fucking annoying, right? I'm trying to
You're not
understand.
even listening, dude.
I'm trying to
You're not even
understand. I'm
listening.
trying to understand. I'm trying to
You're on
understand.
shutdown mode.
I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to
Yeah,
understand.
so we're
Did John?
done.
I'm trying to understand. Did
I'm not
John?
trying to
I'm
talk
trying
with
to
you.
Hello,
Yeah, you're
hello,
listen to yourself.
hello,
Listen to yourself.
hello, hello, hello. Thank you, Jesus Christ, dude, fucking idiot. Holy shit. I'm just trying to understand if you understood my question. Because if you didn't understand the question, we're not even talking. It's like we're just talking past each other. So can you just reproduce my question so I'm satisfied that we're actually talking to each other?
You kind of sound like J Mike. Now that I think about it, he acts
Yeah,
like
this is a
him.
waste of time. There's no point talking to a fucking idiot like this. But does everyone else get what I was saying here? Like, does anyone else
Well,
just agree or kind of like confused or whatever?
your waste
Yes.
of
Can
time
you imagine,
is my
JJ?
pleasure, though.
Can you imagine us talking about Christianity, and that I'm gonna somehow cross-examine
Is there a
him
way to like
on
local mute
on the
people? Like,
topic
can
of
I mute him
No,
Christianity?
no,
It's
No, that's the
ridiculous.
no.
worst
If I
part.
block him, will it mute him? Like,
No.
I literally, I don't want to like, I know you guys do it. So if you're gonna sit here while he rambles, that's fine. But when someone stonewalls like that, I literally, like, I block them from my server. I don't engage. That's just a waste of my time, right? If he wants to talk honestly, I would do that. But I'm not gonna, like,
Dude,
sit in a conversation with that.
You're already
The only
blocked
Is
as
thing
this
you
guy
well.
can
gonna
You're
do
get,
is
is
have
already.
the
this guy gonna
mods
get,
like
like,
move them
just to
down.
be clear, is he gonna get removed or not? If not, that's fine. I'm just gonna go. I don't want to, like, either he engages honestly or I just don't want to,
I
it's just
already
so it's
told
really
you I was
That
frustrating.
done
Well,
Um,
conversing with you,
he's not
and
gonna
you didn't even
engage
hear that
honestly.
part.
So I mean, like, hold on a second.
Okay,
Let me just
that's
ask
fine. No,
him, John. Will
He
you
didn't. He
engage
didn't.
honestly?
Tom. He didn't even hear. I said,
Yeah, I'll just
"Listen,
move him.
dude,
I'll
I'm
just move him.
yeah,
done
I
with
mean, he's
you.
just kind of a retard. If,
It's
yeah,
like
like,
he's really
that's
triggered.
his. Yeah,
yeah, no,
that's why he's here, though, Ed,
yeah,
is
like I
because
was
he
about to
doesn't
say,
answer honestly, and
yeah, I was about to
it's
say,
hilarious.
he's arguably more entertaining than me though. So I would actually understand if Tom was like, no, like we kind of want to keep him on stage here to laugh. Like, no disrespect, it's just like he's kind of like a lol cow for us. We're just gonna keep him up here. That would
Yeah,
be fine. But
Well,
yeah, like
it's
I just,
late. It's late,
yeah,
and
I'm
he's
about to
had
he's
his
leave.
usually
time.
playing. He's just playing poker anyway. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like, yeah, so I don't, yeah, I don't know what motivates it. I don't know if it's dishonesty or stubbornness or what. It'll always confuse me. Like I'll never be able to comprehend it. But yeah, all I was trying to get at is just that I like the norms in the courtroom. I felt when I was watching that Alex Jones trial, I was like, I wish debates were like this. And I was honestly just curious. Like literally, I was asking him the most like